Alright, quick question for you. Have you ever looked up at a massive airplane and wondered, how on earth does that thing stay in the sky? It's a sight that never fails to amaze, no matter how many times you see it. These giant machines, weighing hundreds of thousands of pounds, seem to defy gravity as they soar gracefully overhead. It almost feels like they're floating on invisible strings. Trust me, you're not alone. When I first started learning about flight, it felt like a magic trick nobody wanted to explain. I remember standing at the airport, watching planes take off and land and thinking, there's gotta be some secret to this. But as it turns out, the answer is right in front of us, hidden in the science of physics. But today I'm going to let you in on the secret, and by the end, you'll see, it's not magic, it's just brilliant physics. The principles that keep airplanes in the air are the same ones that affect everything moving through air, from birds to paper planes. So let's break it down as simply as possible. Imagine you're running down the street with your hand out the car window, palm facing the wind. You can feel the force of the air pushing against your hand, and if you tilt your hand, you'll notice it moves up or down depending on the angle. You feel the air pushing against your hand, right? That's air pressure at work. The faster you go, the stronger the push. This simple experiment is actually a mini version of what happens to an airplane wing. Now, picture an airplane wing, also called an airfoil. It's shaped so the top is curved and the bottom is flatter. This special shape is no accident. It's designed to manipulate the air flowing around it in a very clever way. As the plane moves forward, air flows faster over the top than underneath. The curve on top means the air has to travel a longer path, so it speeds up to keep up with the air below. Here's the cool bit. Faster air above actually means lower pressure up there, and slower air below means higher pressure. This difference in pressure is what creates lift, the force that pushes the wing and the whole airplane upward. So, the higher pressure under the wing literally pushes the plane upwards. That upward force is called lift. Without lift, planes wouldn't get off the ground at all. It's the invisible hand that lets them rise into the sky. That's it. Lift is what keeps planes from falling. Simple, but genius. It's a perfect example of how understanding the laws of nature lets us do incredible things. But hang on, it's not just about lift. Planes also need to move forward, and that's where engines come in. Without forward motion, there's no airflow over the wings, and no lift. Jet engines or propellers create a force called thrust, which pushes the plane ahead, cutting through the air. The engines are like the muscles of the airplane, powering it through the sky at hundreds of miles per hour. But the plane is always fighting two other forces. Weight, that's gravity pulling it down, and drag, air pushing back against the plane. Drag is like invisible resistance, always trying to slow the plane down. So, to fly straight and level, the lift has to balance the weight, and the thrust has to beat the drag. That's the whole dance. It's a constant balancing act, and pilots are always making tiny adjustments to keep everything in harmony. And here's something you might not know. Pilots can control how much lift they get by changing the angle of the wings, what's called the angle of attack. By pulling back on the controls, they tilt the nose up, increasing the angle and generating more lift. More angle, more lift, up to a point. This is especially important during takeoff and landing, when the plane needs extra lift to get off the ground or stay in the air at slower speeds. If you overdo it, the air can't flow smoothly and you lose lift completely. A stall. The plane can suddenly drop, which is why pilots are trained to recognize and recover from stalls quickly. Scary, but totally avoidable if you know what you're doing. With the right training and understanding of the forces at play, pilots keep flight safe and smooth for everyone on board. So next time you hop on a plane, you'll have a little insider knowledge. You'll know it's not luck or magic, but clever human engineering and the physics of air pressure that's keeping you off the ground. Every flight is a triumph of science and teamwork, from the designers and engineers to the pilots and crew. If you enjoyed this quick dive into the science of flight, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments what other everyday mysteries you want me to break down next. There's a whole world of fascinating physics out there, just waiting to be explored together. Safe travels and keep looking up. The sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning.